What is up, everybody? Welcome in Friday. DFSarmy MLB pre-lock show. I got Tattoo with me. We got 12 games ahead of us this evening. The United States with a big 2-0 W just finished up. Tattoo, how are you doing today?
I'm fairly miserable right now. Don't know exactly what it is, but just been having, I guess it's horrible indigestion or something, but it's miserable.
That doesn't sound enjoyable at all.
I can't get into the World Cup. I can't do
it. I mean, I have no problem getting into it just because it's a big stage thing. Makes it a little easier. Otherwise, yeah.
Yeah.
If it
The most aggravating thing is I can't turn on YouTube without seeing 500 videos of foreigners falling in love with American food. I'm just like, oh, shut the fuck up.
I mean, that's just because they're used to healthy food everywhere else.
Yeah, they're not used to preservatives and shit that kills us.
Yeah. So they're enjoying that added part and not realizing what it's doing to themselves, I guess.
It's probably more jealousy that I can't come up with some stupid as shit idea to go viral on a YouTube video.
Oh yeah, it's too much to try to make something like that happen. I almost think you just have to get lucky with it rather than plan it out. And I quit caring about what the general public cares a long time ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have 12 whole games to look at. I don't believe we have any weather issues at all. We have the Bobby Witt injury. He's not in the lineup tonight, which kind of sucked because I sneakily like Kansas City's upside tonight from a stacking perspective. I guess the one nice thing about him not being in the lineup, you know how easy it is to stack Kansas City and play Miz and Schlittler together? Or even Miz and DeGrom. It's pretty easy.
So a little Lane Thomas in there?
I mean, all the Carter Jensen that I want, and then some Daniel Schneemann as a one-off at third base, and everything's super simple. But yeah, we got we have a DS issue. I'm going to point that out before anybody else sees this. The Atlanta Braves do not have a 6.7 implied run total against Mizorowski. There's some hang up because Joey Bart was just traded from Pittsburgh, and it's now showing their implied run total under Atlanta. Really weird thing. Joey Bart's not even in the lineup for the Braves. So yeah, that's something to not pay attention to. Is it? I thought I just refreshed before I came on, but maybe not. Let's refresh it and see. There, it is updated. Mine is just that far behind, I guess. So yeah, we don't have to worry about that then. We do have a Coors game to worry about. We do have a Sacramento game to think about. I don't even say worry about. We have a game in Yankee Stadium. So we do have 3 environments where a lot of home runs are hit going on tonight. What do you think about the pitching overall?
As far as after Miz?
Yeah, I mean, Miz is like the obvious. We can talk about his price point and all, but I mean, Miz is just still the
Nobody
obvious to me.
has his upside.
Right.
I mean, and like I was saying on FanDuel, I mean, anybody besides Miz, you're going to need a. I kept saying fail, but I think fail is maybe under 50, you know. But you're going to need some help from. I mean, he's going to need to fail, and somebody's probably going to need to really pop off for him not to be the pitcher on FanDuel.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess unless he has a average game and there's an offense you could have afford that just totally blows up. I mean, but
yeah, that's a big thing on DraftKings for tonight is if Mizorowski has just say an average at 30 DK points score, and you have 3 or 4 other pitchers that have put up 20 to 24, based on how pricing is, and if the like that is paired with either Coors blowing up or Sacramento blowing up, or even the Yankees blowing up, there's a chance that Miz ends up not in the winning lineup on DK because of those price points, right? Because like teams and Coors just automatically get a price jump,
yeah,
going in. So like if Pittsburgh's the nut team tonight, like it's probably super tough to have them with Mizorowski. I haven't tried to build it yet, but Brandon Lau is 6,300, Reynolds 58, Nick Gonzalez 52, Spencer Horowitz is 5K. They do have some cheaper pieces technically if they're going to be in the lineup. It is projected lineups being out there right now. Triol will probably become super popular since he's only 3,200, but it's just really tough to stack them in Coors with Miz. Pretty tough, I think, to stack the best parts of the Yankees. Now, the Yankees, half the lineup is cheap. Like Spencer Jones with the Miz, probably somebody that's going to be higher owned in Mizorowski builds, right? Because he's 2,100 with a ton of upside in that offense. I haven't really looked at like the Colorado pricing. I mean, most of the Colorado lineup is 4,200 plus. Not quite as expensive as Pittsburgh, but upper 4Ks. Probably not the easiest to go with Miz unless you're, punting with, I don't know, who is my cheapest viable pitcher tonight? Bubba Chandler in Coors.
That or what, like Amani or something like that?
That feels scary a little bit just because he's not consistent. He's pretty big wild card. So then like what does it become? Like Miz plus Hiroki Sasaki? I don't know that you can afford to stack like the Pirates or much of the Yankees or the Athletics, right? I'm assuming the A's are pretty expensive, even though they're taking on.
Yeah,
Soriano.
exactly what Pasta said. Like you don't even have to worry about Cam on FanDuel.
I didn't realize they didn't have that game on FanDuel.
Yeah, so you're next. DeGrom, Soriano.
Why are they not having that game?
I'm not sure.
What I'm confused.
They literally like started with like the 7:10 or something like that.
Yeah, the Yankee game starts 5 minutes before
7:05. Yeah. Literally, so they had a 2-game early slate.
Oh, so they could create a 2-game early slate because they're dumb.
Yeah.
I thought there were.
Well, they put Detroit and the Yankees as a 2-gamer, the 6:40 and the 7:05.
Oh, is the Detroit game the only one that starts at the?
It must be.
No, it is. I thought there was another one, but yeah, it's still stupid. Like
yeah.
they wanted to make money off the Detroit game. They could have just made a single game for it, or just included it on the main slate. Like,
I mean, you could include it on the main slate, or had included it on the main slate and had like a 5-game mini slate and just did the 6 and the 7 o'clock games.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems really dumb to remove the.
Because you got 3 more games, 3 more games within 10 minutes start of the Yankees game. Then you got an hour. So you could have easily made it like a 5-gamer.
Yeah, so you can tell that I rarely log into FanDuel these days because I hate what they do for everything. Their baseball slates don't make any sense to me. Their baseball pricing on hitters don't make sense to me. The 27 different positions for half the batters on a slate doesn't make sense to me. And then, I mean, obviously I kind of protest them because their college basketball slates are absolutely atrocious. So,
yeah. Jumping back to what you said, kind of, I guess maybe trying to pull something out of it. Can you make a case not to play Mizorowski?
I mean, like the only time I wouldn't be playing him is if I'm only building one lineup, and I want to if I'm building one lineup and I really want to stack the Yankees or I want to stack the A's, or I guess somebody in Coors, then I'm not gonna try to make it work. I'm just gonna go somebody else. Now, obviously, on FanDuel that becomes a lot more difficult because you don't have Schlittler to go to.
Yeah.
We're going to spend a lot of time talking about Mizorowski and his price point, and somehow the Braves are going to come out and hit 3 home runs off of him, and just surprise us. The thing is with Mizorowski, like, he could give up 3 runs. Like, it's not out of the realm of possibilities, but those 3 runs could come with 10 strikeouts.
And he's probably going to go 7, 8, 9 innings. I
mean, if he gives up 3 runs and strike out double digits, he's probably just going 6 innings. But even then, like, that's still a quality start. It's double-digit strikeouts, to where he's still probably the highest-scoring pitcher. And I always go back to give me the raw points at pitcher, because I'll find the value upside at hitter to make up for that. Because generally, like, especially on FanDuel, like, the hitting pricing doesn't really matter all that much.
Yeah.
Like,
he hasn't gone less than 6 since May 1st.
Yeah, I mean, his May and June run is just ridiculous. DK wise, it's 30 plus DK points every start. On the season now, he averages over 30 DK points per game on the season per start. So, like, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah. Like, I wrote, like, on FanDuel, he hasn't had less than 8 Ks since back middle of April.
Mm-hmm.
Hasn't scored less than 55 FanDuel points since May 1st, which was a 46. I mean,
yeah, and he's a massive road favorite too, minus 173. Third best favorite on the slate, and I would trust him far more as the favorite than Roki Sasaki at minus 220.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm a big Schlittler fan, so, like, I'm not going to argue him being the highest favorite. But yeah, there hasn't been any history for Bats versus Miz in this matchup. I mean, I suppose you should probably make sure it's not like 100 degrees in Atlanta, with wind blowing out or something. Okay. It means 83 degrees with very slight winds blowing out, so it's not.
Yeah. 82, 81, 79 degrees.
I mean, I'm not fully stacked. I wouldn't fully stack Atlanta. I'll have mini stacks, just a few percentage in my runs, but like I have no desire to have 5-man stacks against Mizorowski.
That's scary.
And the bullpen's just been so solid overall. That unless they get to Mizorowski, like they're not going to see the weakest arms out of the bullpen. There's more incentive for them to follow Mizorowski with their best arms to try and preserve every kind of counting stat for Mizorowski, in the chase for Cy Young and all that stuff. So it's just tough. Atlanta is the type of offense that I think would kind of scare me a little bit, especially if Acuna was healthy. Like Acuna, Olsen, those guys can hit anybody. Drake Baldwin apparently can just hit anything at all times. But the bottom half of that lineup against Mizorowski, it's like he's just so dominant against the weaker hitters that it's really tough to see them doing a whole lot.
Yeah, no Acuna.
Yeah.
Eli, Mateo, Yaz, Smith, Dubon, Raleigh, Albies, Olsen, Baldwin.
Yeah, Dominic Smith is hitting cleanup, I think. So, like,
Yeah.
Doesn't excite me at all. I guess aside from the three main guys at the top, is there anybody that really stands out? Because, I mean, I have one that's in the article that I dropped just before the show. He's just too low owned for the way that he's been pitching over the last month. And I think people are just so afraid of this whole piggyback situation in Seattle.
Yeah.
And they see PO next to Bryce Miller's name and think that he's just opening. No, he's gonna throw 80 pitches as long as he's not getting lit up or anything. The other two times that he's quote unquote opened in front of Luis Castillo, he's thrown 5 innings and 5 2/3 innings. I think it's just a great spot in a great ballpark, and he's unowned. Would you rather play Bryce Miller or would you rather play Ranger Suarez on the other side?
Miller, honestly, I had him in my notes, and I clipped him out just because I didn't know if people would worry about that. But he was the first person I put in with Miz in my single entry.
Yeah, he just makes a ton of sense to me. I get that he's 8,900, but still, I like him more than Landon Rout. I like him more than Michael Soroka at that price point, in that area.
Yeah.
I do like Bryce Miller more than Roki Sasaki, even though Sasaki's a little more popular. Tetsuya Imai is super popular, probably because people are trying to pair him with all the 3 expensive guys. I don't mind trying to pick on Cleveland, but I don't know if Imai is one of those guys that I want to be heavy on in this spot. One of the Cleveland bats is one of my core bats for the night. So,
what about like a Jeffrey Springs with all the strikeouts in the A's lineup? Angels.
I am debating him. He just when's the last time he showed upside? I asked that because I haven't really looked at his recent performances yet, as I'm still finalizing my pitcher pool.
Well, he has flashed the upside of 17 about a month ago.
Yeah,
but at the beginning of the season,
yeah,
he had a 23, a 30, a 27.
Yeah, in the 2 months since then, like he's got a 17, a 13.9, an 11, and then a whole lot of single digits.
Yeah.
Um, and that's kind of a worry. He's given up 12 home runs in 45 innings at home this season as well. So I don't know. Just don't know if I want to trust Jeffrey Springs. I mean, because one of my core bats is also a Los Angeles Angel bat tonight too. Um, but I could see it because there is K upside for him. Game total of 10 though. Like,
Yeah.
I might prefer gambling with Bubba Chandler and Coors more than Jeffrey Springs.
There's guys that pop out to me a little more now that I'm looking at DK because I mean some of them are irrelevant on FanDuel, but what about Connor Prelip as far as the cheap go?
I wanted to debate him, but what I've seen out of the Diamondbacks against left-handed pitching, like the last number of times that I've used left-handed pitchers against the Diamondbacks, they just don't get strikeouts for whatever reason. So like I don't think I can get to Prelip. I mean, I've used him a number of times already this season, so like I'm generally not too afraid to go there. I just don't think I'm capable of getting there tonight.
Yeah. I like kind of what Darth said. I like Soroka.
I don't mind Soroka.
It's just a few bats that Minnesota's are on fire right now.
There's a handful of bats from Minnesota that are over 1,000 OPS over the last week. You know, Buxton's obviously, Keyshaw, Caratini, Josh Bell, Trevor Larnach. I think Brooks Lee's close enough to it. I don't think he was over 1,000, but I'll probably will be using Soroka, but it's not. I don't really want to go much more than that 15% that right now we're projecting from the field.
Yeah. I actually, like I said, I like Soroka better probably than Prelip, but Minnesota is like a tier 2 stack for me.
Minnesota just puts up runs yet. I honestly don't think that Arizona should be minus 171. I think that game should be a little closer from a Vegas line perspective. I mean, looking at some of the other favorites, like I would trust DeGrom and the Rangers to beat San Diego more than Arizona to beat Minnesota right now. I think I trust Tampa Bay to beat Washington more, especially since Cade Cavalli was scratched earlier today. So I don't know. Like it's tough. I am going to use some Soroka. I just don't. I don't feel comfortable having 20% of him.
Yeah.
I feel like I just have this mental block about Griffin Jax as a starting pitcher. Because I thought it was the dumbest thing ever to move him from the bullpen where they traded a lot last year at the deadline to get him because he's one of the best relief pitchers available at the deadline last year. But the biggest thing with Griffin Jax is the fact that look at his pitch counts. Since basically over the last month, it looks like he's gone, or a month and a week, he's gone 66, 62, 38, 72, 62, 63. They're just not pushing him. Like he's been able to get through 5 innings on 60 some pitches, but like if James Wood and Luis Garcia get to him for a couple hits, like those 60 pitches are probably 4 innings tonight and I just don't think until I see it, I just don't think they're going to extend him. Really, it's being a career reliever at the major league level. I don't think they're just suddenly going to randomly make him an 80 pitch guy tonight after being in the 60s for so many starts in a row.
Any trust in Soriano?
I don't trust Soriano. I'm going to use him a little bit just because everybody wants to take hitters in that ballpark. Like, he's unowned. Yeah. And when things come together for him, he has the upside. It's just he's definitely not the same pitcher that he started the season as.
He faced the Athletics back 5/21 in LA. He went 6 2/3, 7 Ks, 11 ground balls, 5 fly balls.
Yeah, he's certainly viable, and he's probably the one that we need to play because he's unowned at sub 1%, and there's a route for him to outscore DeGrom, outscore Schlittler. It has to be a somewhat bad performance from Mizrowski for him to outscore him right now, but still, I think you have to consider playing Soriano as a large field GPP guy. Actually, just any field GPP, right? Like, the upside is enough. I just don't like a whole lot of cheaper pitching tonight.
For a night with Miz, the rest of it's who.
Yeah, like Roki Sasaki at 8,100. I'm super worried about that. Obviously, the Orioles striking out a bunch, but still, like, Sasaki goes numerous games in a row where he just looks like he's the worst starting pitcher in baseball. Ranger Suarez, 8,600, feels a little elevated, but there's upside in the matchup, I guess. Especially if J-Rod is out. I don't think Seattle's dropped the lineup yet. But he had left Wednesday with some injury too. Tonight's probably won by somebody like Tanner Bybee, who, like, I'm just overlooking maybe. Rarely going to say it's going to be won by Martin Perez against the Brewers. I would have loved to maybe play a little bit of Cade Cavalli just because I like him, but I haven't heard if it's going to be a full bullpen game for Washington or if they're going to try getting a long reliever to follow the opener now. But I don't know. Any other pitcher you want to talk about or you got questions about? Because I
was just going to say right now with Miz and Chandler, it leaves you 4,000 per position,
which isn't very much on DraftKings.
Get you Goldie at first. If you want to punt catcher, you can take JC Esker.
My favorite catcher is Carter Jensen.
I don't know. The Yankees aren't that expensive.
Well, then you look at Jazz, 4,400. Bellinger's 5-something.
I gotta make sure I'm back on the.
Bellinger, if you're going Goldie,
49.
If you're going Goldie over Ben Rice, then sure you save some money, but
yeah.
It's just the cheaper Yankee bats you're not excited about using.
Spencer Jones is what, 2,100?
Yeah, Spencer Jones is the one that I think ends up higher owned than what he's showing right now, because he makes for a great one-off bat in like Mizrowski builds because he's so cheap.
You could two-man. My brain's locking up on me. Carter Jensen and like Lane Thomas.
Yeah, I mean, I like two-manning Carter Jensen and Michael Massey.
I haven't looked at the lineup to see where they.
I mean, Massey's hitting fifth, Carter Jensen's leading off, but Massey's just at second base at sub 3K. So, like,
Thomas is second.
uses up that second base position that I generally don't enjoy. But
I mean, you're getting a cheap 5-hole hitter. I mean,
I mean, you have a cheap. My favorite third baseman is 2,500, so and he's hitting fifth tonight as a one-off. Is Daniel Schneemann against MI, but I mean that's obviously a decent salary saver, but that also means you're not getting Max Muncy in Dodger stacks maybe. If you need to save something off, so that you can play Ohtani and Freeman. I don't even know if you can build one with Ohtani and Freeman with Mizorowski without hating yourself.
You're going to be playing a lot of 2K players.
Yeah, so then you can't have Max Muncy. The construction angle is really, really different tonight. As you go position by position, but when it comes to stacking, right? Are the obvious top stacks like the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Pirates? Is that basically the obvious?
Yeah, I have the Dodgers as my top stack. Just picking on Trey Gibson. I had the A's. I had the Angels third, but I think I might drop them. I could probably drop the A's. And somehow I forgot to put Pittsburgh in my list. But I tell you, like St. Louis and Kansas City are two teams I really like.
Yeah, I'm definitely pretty high in Kansas City. I mean, the Dodgers and Yankees are my top teams. And then I went with the A's in Kansas City and Pittsburgh in my middle tier. I don't really want to be on Pittsburgh as much, but I felt like they probably belong.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have any desire to play Kyle Freeland. On a 12-game slate, do you know that Freeland has just 2 starts this season with more than 7.6 DK points? One of them was 16 and the other one was 23. Every other start is 7.6 or fewer DraftKings points. So, I have no desire at all to try and rely on Freeland on a 12-game slate. Kind of makes me like Kansas City 5-man stacks even more without Witt because fewer people probably go to full Kansas City stacks without him. But it also makes it easier for me to get Kansas City stacks with Mizorowski. All right, that would make more sense. Yeah, Alex Freeland for an LA Dodger stack, a cheaper piece. Yeah, that makes more sense to me. Yeah, I mean, he's cheap. He's kind of like the only cheap piece right now. I mean, Ryan Ward might be all right too, but I think he's kind of fallen off a little bit. So you almost feel like Freeland in Dodger stacks paired with Mizorowski, like, is probably the chalkier way to go about it. Not necessarily in Dodger stacks overall, just the ones that are trying to jam in Mizorowski on DK. Maybe trying to use Schlittler, I guess. I haven't tried to build Dodger stacks yet, so I mean, unless the Dodgers come out with some weird looking lineup too. Tommy Edman's supposed to be back tonight.
Who?
Tommy Edman. So Freeland might not even be in the lineup. I mean, Tommy Edman's only 3,400, so I guess he's cheaper. But
I hate that I can't use Salvi and Jensen.
yeah, it's another annoying part. But like, there's some complaining yesterday about Kyle Schwarber being first base only on DK. As much as I can understand hating it, I actually love the idea of that. Just because it makes you have to make decisions, right?
Yeah.
You can't just automatically plug in two guys that play the same position or are listed as the same position. So you have to strategically build around that. So something that I enjoy just because it's, the puzzle piece part of this game that we do play. Now I get it. He probably should just still have outfield eligibility. He just happened to play first base the other day. So then DraftKings, I don't know, made the adjustment. I have a feeling they'll be back to having him in the outfield. They don't even play tonight, do they? I think there was some weird scheduling thing where they and another team aren't playing on a Friday night, which was really weird. But what do you think of? Are you interested in like Houston? Are you interested in Milwaukee? Maybe Tampa Bay at all tonight?
Probably more mini stack wise. Like Milwaukee, if you're going to try to get Jackson Churio in there. And I don't know, Contreras.
Contreras has got strong BVP.
Yeah. Milwaukee's not really necessarily a cheap team.
No, they're not, actually.
You try to get Contreras, Churio, Yelich, even Jake Bowers.
Bowers isn't in the lineup. You have to go Churio, Contreras. You have to go Andrew Vaughn, who's cheap enough, and then look at playing like Blake Perkins, Cooper Pratt, Jory Ortiz, because Terang is 5,800, Yelich is 5,500. So you can get cheaper pieces of Milwaukee. It's just you don't feel very good playing those pieces. Sexy single entry without Miz, Schlittler, DeGrom, Jensen, Kurtz, Massey, Muncy, Wilson, Cortez, Butler, and Jones. I just don't think Max Muncy for the A's will be in the lineup the way that Yeloff has been playing. But yeah, that build makes sense then.
Yeah.
That Spencer Jones one-off for 2,100 helps quite a bit. Trying to think here. Do you want to play either side in the Boston and Seattle game from an offensive standpoint?
No. You can talk me into Seattle, but you might be talking me into a two-man. But I really ain't trying to, necessarily use up my outfielders.
Yeah, especially like Seattle weak outfielders and like Victor Robles or Connor Joe or something like that. I wouldn't be overly excited about 5-man stacking them. Um, yeah, I don't think I'm much more interested in Baltimore than any of these other low implied run total teams, except for Minnesota. Like, I think that Minnesota run total is a little too low, but Baltimore is really the one team with the low total that I kind of want to be a little bit heavier on, just because like when we see Sasaki struggle, it's really struggles. Um, he has like two modes: dominant or absolutely atrocious. So I want Baltimore exposure in case we get atrocious Roki Sasaki tonight.
Where the hell is this motherfucker?
Yeah, that's kind of all I have about stacks. Like, not super interested in Texas, even though like lefties can do damage to Vasquez. Don't really like San Francisco's offense. Not really interested in Miami a whole lot. Cincinnati against Schlittler as a contrarian. We haven't really seen Schlittler blow up enough that I want to take a chance with Cincinnati.
Yeah. Probably Cincinnati, when they blow up, they blow up. But
yeah.
But like I said, you haven't really seen him. But really, I mean, JJ Bleday is, the only one really stroking it right now.
I won't even say it's like, I think he's just got a couple extra base hits, but other than that, like he's hitting like 200 over the last 2 weeks or something.
I mean, he's got a 1.011 OPS over 7 days with 2 home runs, but
it's all driven by the 2 home runs because he's hitting like 200. I mean, it says a lot that Cincinnati's implied run total is lower than the Braves taking on Mizorowski. So I don't have a ton of interest in Cincinnati. Could backfire, I guess. I'd feel better just mini stacking them. A couple left-handed bats, and hopefully that they can hit a couple home runs or something. But yeah, kind of all I have to talk about for stacks wise. Do you want to go position by position, give some of your favorites, and then a couple dawn calls, and we can get out of here?
Yeah. Catcher, I mean, it's always Shea. Shea or Goodman are just always my favorites. First base, without going with the obvious, I like Caglione. Second base, I actually like JJ Weatherholt. Third base, I like, shockingly, Blaze Jordan. Shortstop, I do like Jacob Wilson. He is in the lineup.
I would assume he's going to be.
Yeah, he's confirmed. But really, shortstop, I think, is probably going to end up being like my one-off. I really like Gunner. Outfield, Spencer Jones, too cheap. I always love Cole Carrig. Let me jump back here because it's easier than trying to finger it through the DS.
You keep talking. I have to run for a second. I'll be back.
Yeah. But I mean, the outfield's got so many guys. Buxton, Alvarez. I mean, these are obvious. Joe Adele, 3 for 9, 2 home runs off Springs. Butler, 6 for 19, 2 home runs. Guy that I keep chirping on about, Lane Thomas, 102 OPS, 3 home runs over the last week. Always Buxton. But those are some of my favorite guys as we sit here. I'll just go back over a couple. Like I said, I like Wilson and Gunnar. Maybe some Perdomo. Third base, love Blaze Jordan, Isaac Paredes, Max Muncy. Kyle Karras. I know he's had nothing but great ballparks, but he's going back to Colorado. Like I said, I love J.J. Weatherholt and Luke Keuchel. First base, I loved Kurtz Eldridge Bell. I do like William Contreras. Is 4 for 8 with a home run and 2 extra base hits off Perez. So that's something I'm interested in. And then we have Ring.
Okay. I'm back. My catcher, I've already mentioned him like 25 times already, Carter Jensen. On fire, leading off. Otherwise, Logan O'Hoppe just kind of keeps quietly doing something right now, and his price just keeps dropping on DK. Like he's 2,200. Like there's too much power upside, especially in that ballpark, for Logan O'Hoppe to be 2,200. Like his home run odds are plus 430. He has better odds to homer than Dalton Rushing, who's twice his price. So, first base is, you can pick a bunch of different dudes, really.
Yeah.
I think it's just Nick Kurtz. Like, I'm just going to keep riding it. The problem is he's expensive. So pairing him with like Mizorowski is kind of tough. Christian Walker, sneakily, like 3 for 8 with a home run and a double against Bybee, I think is kind of an interesting play, especially if you want to just pair him with Jordan as a mini stack. Second base, I heard you mention Luke Keyshaw and Weatherholt, and then obviously the third guy I really like is Massey. 2,900, just another cheap piece that allows me to pay up at one of the pitching spots. Third base, Schneemann, mentioned him a bunch of times. OPS of 1253 over the last week. And I will gladly pick on Tetsuya Imai whenever possible. Shortstop's kind of rough tonight, especially without Witt. I agree with you on Gunnar Henderson, probably my favorite. If I wanted to give you somebody that is not Gunnar to be a little off the wall, it'll probably be Anthony Volpe. I think he's been decent. Yeah, OPS of 1369 over the last week for Volpe. Outfield-wise, my favorite outfielder is Joe Adele. Has a couple home runs in his career off of Jeffrey Springs. I kind of like whichever cheap Arizona outfielder is out there. I prefer Tommy Troy. But if Jordan Lawler is in the lineup too, Troy is my preferred of those two. And then obviously like Churio, the way he's been swinging it, Brian Reynolds, like just like first base in general, a lot to love at the outfield position. But yeah, that's kind of all we have today. If you're a member of DFS Army, you can hit us up in Discord with questions, etc. Share those screenshots of the winnings later this evening. If you're not a member, scrolling across the bottom of the screen, you see Best Ball 2026 is our best promo code right now. Will get you 20% off. Any NFL or VIP Core 4 membership. The Core 4 does include baseball. There's a link in the description that you can go to use that code. Or if you wanted to join us for baseball only, code RAZ or Tattoo gets you 10% off monthly. That's kind of all we have. We're back on Monday. I assume around the same time. I don't know if there's a bunch of early games or not, but I would assume not. Have a great weekend. It is Father's Day weekend, so Tattoo, make sure Josiah gets you a present for Father's Day. And
I will.
Yeah, hopefully everybody else enjoys their Father's Day, cooking out or whatever you guys do to celebrate it. Tip a drink back in remembrance of those fathers that have passed away already as well. And we will talk to you Monday. Helmets up tonight.
Yeah. Hug your dad. Some of us can't. So.